Welcome back, guys, to another video. Today we are going to be breaking down chapter 14, one of my favorite chapters from my brand new book, The Simplicity and Complexity of Life. If you guys have not yet, please go hit that link down in the description below and pick up a copy. It helps me and the channel out immensely. This is one of my favorite chapters. This chapter is titled The Way of Water. So go ahead and dive right in. Almost all life needs water to survive, especially that of complex life. We as humans are 70% water ourselves. Life and water have such a deep-rooted tie. Water heals, taking away and healing the wounds of the past as it washes and moves over you. Similarly to the tide washes away sand, taking the sand with it. The same with your pain, that of physical and mental. We are water, and water is such an important thing to our being and who we are and our story and journey as human beings throughout time, but also our own personal individual journeys. We ourselves, like I said, are made up about 70% of water, but it's also such a healing thing from the start of our life in the womb. We're in water, and water's surrounding us, and we are water, all the way to our death, and then eventually we will just be ashes that some way or another will find itself in the water, and we will decompose and become one with the earth again. So that's something I thought was really important that I wanted to shed light on, and I think not enough people think about, and it's just such an interesting, fascinating thing to me. Water is a key tool in recovery and growth throughout life. Similarly to what I was just talking about. Just even letting water run over you can be such a euphoric experience, helping to clear your mind and bring you peace. We are deeply tied with water because even before birth, water is a crucial part to our survival and development. And again, we ourselves are water. That's why it is so crucial in our life. We learn the art of assuming formlessness. So yeah, I think water is such a healing thing to us. Even just getting in the shower and letting the water run over you can be such a euphoric healing thing, or taking cold plunges or sitting in a hot tub can help with muscle recovery and just make your body feel so refreshed and clear mentally, whatever fog you might have up there. We must learn the art of assuming formlessness. There is a quote attributed to Bruce Lee that I absolutely love, and I'm going to share with you here. It's, if you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Water can flow or it can crash. Be water, my friend. And that is one of my favorite quotes ever. I have another quote I love in this chapter that I'm going to bring up later, but that is one of my favorite quotes ever, because that embodies so perfectly what assuming formlessness should be. Taking the form of whatever circumstances you find yourself in, to be able to adapt and shift your way and your perception of whatever circumstances you find yourself in to be able to survive. And I think that's what humans have always done, even if they, haven't done it consciously or with intent. But I'm going to go in here later why it's so important we do it with intent and how extremely helpful that is to our careers and to our life. It is a great illustration of what formlessness is and how people should approach it. You might ask, why is it so important for us to know how to assume formlessness? It's because it is a key part of navigating life. We all assume formlessness to some degree, even if we don't know we do it. We all shape and bend ourselves, our thoughts, our reality, but the essence of assuming formlessness, it's more so on how you adapt and mold to whatever circumstances or situations you find yourself in. So we must learn how to assume formlessness with intent. We must look at the situation at hand. There are 5 key things we must remember when assuming formlessness. 1. Being never to stay in the same place too long. Be forever looking to the future for your next move. Staying in one place too long can leave you susceptible to your enemy or opponent countering your move. Second, If you can go without being seen, don't be seen. Move with silence. Be unpredictable. Your enemies cannot attack what they cannot see. Water itself is translucent but takes the shape of whatever object it puts itself into. But its presence can still be felt but barely seen. Moving in silence will result, in the end, your actions being even more meaningful and powerful. Third, reinvent yourself. Keep your enemies or your audience always on their toes or the edge of their seat. Be theatric. People get bored of what they already have seen and know. No one wants to hear the same hits over and over again. There is a time and place for you to reach in your bag and play on nostalgia. But for the most part, if you keep going back to the same moves and become predictable, you will become rigid and stagnant. You must also know how to keep your finger on the pulse of the youth, what is new, young, and vibrant. Fourth, wear a mask, not a shell. A mask you can interchange and take off with ease, but a shell leaves you secluded and quickly you make it your home, leaving yourself susceptible to attacks. It weighs you down, but a mask you can change and play with your character and dress up as however you want, or whoever you want, or whoever you need to be. Fifth, and finally, know your true form at heart. Be who you need to be to succeed and conquer. Know your audience and show them what they need to see. If it's a leader, if it's ruthlessness, or if it's a comedian, show them what they desire and need. Whatever shape and moves it takes for you to stay on top and remain in power, yet at your core, remember who you are and where your morals stand. Keep a piece of yourself connected at all times. I think that's so important, especially when assuming formlessness with such intent and within remembering those 5 crucial parts and rules. Always, remember where you stand and where the real you starts, because a lot of times we see people get lost in this role or this character they're trying to portray because they want to live that life, but that's not really them, or they feel like they need to be this person, and then it ends up overtaking them. And we've seen this a lot with celebrities, with people that have so much potential in our communities, with politicians, with such a wide variety of people, so many different circumstances over time and throughout history. But it's so important that we keep that piece of ourselves and who we authentically are grounded within us and within the character we are playing. There is a quote attributed to the Greek philosopher Heraclitus that goes, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it is not the same river and he is not the same man." And I love this quote, and this really encompasses and encapsulates what being a human being is, and that's that we're always changing, we're always growing. And I always reference this kind of, when this quote gets brought up in my mind, I always kind of picture this in the way of a marriage or a romantic couple. And that's something, that we all, I think, want to seek out. But I think this is such a important quote, especially for people that are in love and the lovers out there, because this quote applies so strongly to relationships, especially those of love for a significant other. And that's because people are going to change. And we have to change with them, and we are going to change with them. But are we going to change and grow with them, or are we going to grow apart from them? Are we going to grow completely differently from them? And I think that's why we see so many marriages fail in modern day times, is because, I'm sorry to go on this little tangent, kind of off spew, but that's because people think, oh, I'm going to be still in love with the person that I knew when I was 19 and I decided to propose to them. And I've been seeing so many young people proposing now, and it's crazy. At 19, 18, 20 years old, insane to me. And we know why. We know why, man. But it's, I thought I was always going to be in love with this person I met when I was 19 years old. No, because people change, people grow, times change people, situations change people. We're not going to be the same person we were a year ago, 2 years ago, and we're not. we're not even going to be the same person we were yesterday. That person changes, they evolve, they grow, you know. And sometimes people do change for the worst, and that's sad to see, you know, and sad to say that, yeah, sometimes people change for the worst. It's a part of life. But such an important part, especially in a marriage, is we have to learn to grow and change with that person. And I feel like a lot of people, when they get married, they think, oh, I'm going to be in love with this person forever. Exactly. This person, this version of the person. What is this person going to look like 30 years from now? What are they going to be like? Are they going to be the same person? Are you ready to make that commitment to them? You might love the person they are now, but are you going to forever love them? If, let's say, they don't want to, you know, be doing this thing that you really enjoy right now with them, are you still going to love them? If, let's say, they get an addiction to alcohol, are you still going to love that person? Let's say if they want to, you know, pick up a hobby or join a lifestyle that, you know, might not fit in with you or your lifestyle, are you going to love them? Or let's, you know, from the other side, let's say you start doing something that goes against what they like, or you guys just lose interest in each other. Or let's say you stay kind of in the same hole and you keep repeating the same mistakes in life, and this person keeps growing. You think they're really going to want to still stay with you? I mean, it's a difficult thing, you know, and not ever, of course, it's not a black and white thing, but I think that's a big hole a lot of people fall into, especially in marriage, is they think, oh, I'm in love with this person now, but they don't realize or look at what this person is going to look like or be like in 30, you know, 50 years from now. Am I still going to have that same love for them? And they could, but a lot of times they don't picture themselves actually growing with that person, and they don't realize how big of a commitment that is. But yeah, I love this quote, rounding back. I love this quote, and it encapsulates just what we all as humans are doing all throughout life. We're always changing, we're always moving, we're never the same person. And that's what we should always be striving for, is to grow and to change. And I love the analogy of how no man's ever the same, similarly to no river is ever the same, because they're always moving, always growing, always changing. We are forever changing and moving with the times. We must be aware and accepting of changes, because we always are. It's eternal that for our whole life we will change and grow. Some faster and stronger than others, but we all change. We and water are always just simply flowing with time. We are also similar to water in the way that water is the strongest force on earth. You have a drop, it'll dry up in minutes. But an ocean will take out cities and carve out the land. There is strength in numbers, yet it only takes one man to change the world, and only one drop to start a storm. Remember, we are water. And I love that quote I put in there at the end. And I think that's something a lot of people should remember and try and carry with them, is that there's strength in numbers, and it's true. It only takes one man to start a change in the world, and it only takes, you know, one drop of water similarly to start a storm, but those things can really create great change in the world. And that's kind of where I'm going to leave it at. Let me know what you guys thought about chapter 14 down in the description below, and until next time, peace out.